Okay, microphone check. I believe I am streaming. If you guys can hear me, let me know. If anyone can hear me, let me know. It's been a while since I've done this. Sorry for starting late. I was having some problems just setting this up. I totally forgot how to set up the stream because it's been such a long while. But I can see myself. I can't hear myself. So if you guys can hear me, maybe give me a thumbs up. Yes, Pat says loud and clear. Lovely. Amazing. So good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pat. Welcome to the live stream. It's been a while. It's been a minute. Good evening, Scott, as well. So yeah, if you're in the chat, if you're in the video, just give us a good evening, and I can welcome you back as well. Michael as well. Michael Rogers. Good evening to you too. Aman as well. Good evening to you. Sorry, the comments are just popping up now. Marco as well. You can hear me. Yep. Good evening to you, Marco. Morpheus as well. Good evening to you, Morpheus. Hello, everyone. We've got Chrissy Boy. Good evening to you as well. Who we got here? Find the Blue Sky. Thumbs up. Welcome. Good evening to you as well. No Limit. We got No Limit in the place. Salute to you. Good evening. We got Gigi as well, saying good evening to everyone. Good evening to you, Gigi, as well. So yeah, people are gonna probably start filtering in. But yeah, it's been a little minute since I've done the lives. To be honest, it's just been life, you know. I've just been so busy with the projects, just personal stuff. Some of you who follow the bike channel know that I'm doing the bike channel as well, restoring motorbikes as well. So there's more videos, more content, more editing, all that stuff. So it's just taking away time for me to do the lives. I'm gonna try and do them again, but maybe not every week like I was doing before. Try and do something that's more manageable, so that we can sort of still do them, because I know a lot of people find very helpful doing the lives, just, you know, asking questions and also getting input of other people that are in the channel as well. So yeah, it's good to do that. I enjoy doing them. I do enjoy, you know, helping out people with their own problems and stuff like that. Maybe trying to advise them and giving them tips how to move forward in their own projects and so on. But yeah, you guys know I've been busy. I haven't been doing videos much for the last, I'd say 2 weeks. I had taken a bit of time off. It was my birthday and I just sort of took a little bit of time off. I just needed a break, you know, and also the boys now, they are doing, you know, those of you who've been following the channel, you know that they've been growing, developing their skills, they've been getting better, more confident, so on. So I'm being able to give them more sort of tasks to do without me being there. So there's sometimes where I'm not in that day, or I'm off doing other things that I need to do, you know, just sort of admin stuff or whatever, which is always hard to catch up with when you're working on the tools all the time. So, you know, the days maybe where I'm not on site, obviously there's videos and stuff, but there's some work going on, you know. But we got some interesting projects coming up as well. We're back on the Cowboy build. We've been there yesterday, a little bit on Wednesday, a bit yesterday. The guys were there, I wasn't there. And then we were there today as well. So I didn't get enough time to edit today's video because it's just 8 o'clock and I didn't get enough time. So I'll try and get that out for tomorrow. But we're back on that. Bricklaying is pretty much just a little bit bricklaying to do and it's finished. Maybe one day and that's done. We started with a flat roof on it today as well, on the side extension. We started that today. So soon we'll have that all closed up and then we'll basically be inside. So that's what's been happening on that. For many people have been asking what's happening with the Cowboy build. It is going on. Well, we have another one. I did do a video. I don't know if you guys saw the video where I showed another job that we're going to be taking over, where they had all the plasterboard ceilings up back to front. We were having a discussion about that. So we are going to be doing that. So that's an extension and a refurbishment. All the foundations and footings are already there. So we're basically going to be working from the foundation upwards. So we'll be moving on that quite soon. So yeah, and then there's just other things in the pipeline, loads of other stuff. So I'm just gonna go through, you know, in order, the good evenings, the questions, and just try and see if I can, you know, get through them. The plan is to do 8 till 9. I'm shattered, I'll be honest, guys, but you know, I did start late, so we might go over a little bit over 9, but I'm gonna try and see if we can keep to a decent time tonight. Let's see what we got here. So we ended on GG. Dean, hi Dean, hi Darren. Does it really matter double damp or just the normal DPM way on outer leaf and on the inner leaf? Does it really matter double damp or just a normal DPM way on outer leaf and on the inside? I'm not 100% following you, to be honest, on that. Let me see. Maybe rephrase it if you can for me. I'm a little bit not 100% sure what you mean. The damp proof course you're talking about. I'm not sure what you mean by double. So if you can rephrase that, maybe I can try and make a bit more sense of what you're asking on that one. So evening Jim as well. Jimbo, evening to you. Chrissy boy, what areas do you cover? Pretty much London, basically. We pretty much cover all of London. Yeah, we don't venture out of London really anymore. It's just to because also, you know, we got 4 of us now, and literally all of us are pretty much from different parts of London. So I have to sort of plan the jobs that it's not too difficult and too expensive for everybody to get to, because, you know, Tristan drives, but Nandi and Kenneth don't. So, you know, getting around transport can be quite expensive. So, and obviously something that's not going to be too much traveling for everybody. So, but generally speaking, we cover the London areas. We just don't really go outside of London. Lucky's asking, yes, bro, any updates on your Dominica house build? So yeah, Dominica, there isn't really any updates besides we've got planning permission now. I think I've already given that update. We've got the planning permission that has been approved. I think that was approved like September gone. It took a long time, 1.5 years, just because we had a sort of architect that wasn't really pulling his weight. And he had a couple revisions to sort out, and it just took a long time. But basically, I just need to plan when I can make a trip to actually make a start. When I'm going to be able to do that, I don't know. It's really difficult because we've got so much going on. Usually when I go to Dominica, I sort of shut everything down and I'll go for a couple of months. Obviously, I've got 3 guys working full time now. So, you know, it's not as easy for me to just shut everything down and just say to everybody, well, I'll see you in 3 months' time, sort of thing. So it's a little bit more difficult to do that. We even talked about it the other day. We may even do a trip where the guys come for a little while out there. And, you know, so maybe something like that might happen. I don't know yet, to be honest. I've got so much going on that I've kind of put it a little bit to the back burner, which I really shouldn't be doing. I need to get it done. So, yeah, I'm going to probably have to get back onto that soon. But, yeah, I mean, I wish I could be there right now, building now on that. You know, I really want to get it done. But, you know, life happens and just not so easy at the moment. So Dean's asking, how old are you? Like, you look young. I am now 44. So I don't know. Some people think I look younger than 44, but I'm 44, March baby. Yeah. born in 1980. So yeah, that's my age. Chrissy asks, Cheshunt, North London, would like a garden room. Cheshunt is a possible. Cheshunt's a possible for us. Because actually, I'm the long travel for Cheshunt. The guys are a lot closer Cheshunt than I am. Is a long journey for me, but could be a possible. Best thing to do is send me an email. On P for Papa, P Builders. Send me an email about what you want, and then we can have a chat and take it from there. Sorry. Marco's asking, how's the Cowboy build? Missing them episodes. I know I've been itching to do them. The last 2 days I've been trying to get footage and it's just not worked out. Yesterday I didn't even get into work. Yesterday I had so much to do. The guys were there all day and I didn't actually get in. Wednesday I was there for a bit. I got a little bit of footage, but not enough really to make a video. So I took some more footage today on site. Today I was there about half of the day. So I just didn't get enough time tonight to get the video edited before the live. So I'll try and do it tonight, or by tomorrow that should be out. But yeah, we are back on that. So yeah, we're on the roof now. We're starting the roof now. Brickwork is literally just a little bit more to do, and we're basically ready to put the roof on. Let's see, where are we now? Next, Morpheus, your show has helped me maintain my home. Amazing, great. I mean, that's what it was always for me when I started, was to just share information, because I've learned most of the stuff myself. I didn't have someone like, I always say to the guys, how lucky they are that you got someone that they can sort of work under and learn from, because I know I didn't I didn't have that. I had to just learn myself, teach myself stuff, and so I'm sort of self-taught in that sense. So that's my mindset, has always been like, just sharing knowledge and people doing their own DIY stuff and learning to build their own stuff. So when I hear people say that, it's really good to hear that. Super hello, you came up on my FYP. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know who you are, brand new to this channel, just thought I'd say hello. Thank you, a super hello, welcome to the family. So yeah, thank you, really appreciate that. And saying that, as you've just joined the channel, we also hit 50,000 subscribers, I think yesterday, yeah. So, or today, yesterday or today, we hit 50,000 subscribers. So that's been a huge sort of milestone for me. It's been a lot of work. I think it's been like 3 to 4 years now since I started the channel. I started it, I think, just before COVID actually. So I'm very grateful for hitting that milestone, and just continue to just push, and hopefully we can hit 100,000 in the near future. So thank you for everybody that's subscribed to the channel, that's been supporting. Some of you been supporting from day one. You comment every video, you comment, and that helps the channel when you comment and like videos and stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys for being consistent with us like that. So yeah, on to another 50,000. Jim, hi Darren, what's your method for pricing? My method, so I typically let me see how I would explain how I do it. So let's say, for instance, someone's asking me price a garden house. I sort of have a rough idea now of a square meterage, depending on the style that they want. I roughly have an idea of what price per square meter is. But a lot of the time, I have some template sort of Excel spreadsheets. So I'll estimate things. For instance, foundation, like how many man days is it going to take, like how many days is it going to take us to do it, and then I'll sort of have, it could be 2 days or 3 days or 2 guys or whatever it is, and then obviously we have a rate for the guys for the day, and then similar for materials. So I don't know if it's 5 meters wide, how many rafters are going to be, and and then I sort of have all my rafters, and then I have the price for rafters, and it's sort of rough like that. That's how I sort of do it, and it sort of tabulates it, and that's how I generally get to the price thing. So yeah, but it's a lot easier now because I've been doing things so often, so I kind of know roughly how long this is going to take, how long that's going to take. I always have to keep checking on prices and make sure that I'm up to date with prices because things are changing all the time. But generally speaking, I sort of have templates, and I use Excel spreadsheets, and it helps me to basically come up with the pricing. Let's see where we next. Jimbo. Okay, that was Jim. Dean. Double damp way. Double damp way. Lay first and lap it down, mate. Okay. So well, normally if I understand what you're saying, on the inner skin, normally what I do is I lay a DP. Normally what I do is I'll lay a separate DPC on the outer skin, like 100 ml DPC on the outer skin most times, and then like maybe like a 450 or 600 ml on the inner skin, and then when we're ready to do our oversight, then we lap that with our DPM or tuck that underneath it to get a continuous membrane. I think that's what you're asking. That's what I normally do. I tend to have two separate membranes, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's what you're asking. So let me know if I got you correct. Pat's asking, skimming over artex. The house is from 1960s. Artex looks fairly new. 60s. So if you can, I mean, this on this, can you skim over artex? Can you not? Yes, you can. In my opinion, I've done it before. I've never had an issue with it. A lot of some artexes, when they get wet, they can sort of get soft, and so they soak up too much moisture, and it has happened before. I've seen videos of it where plasters come down with artex, sort of soaked through it and it softened it too much. The weight of the plaster might pull it off. So what's important is that you seal it. So if you're gonna seal it with like a SBR, but let it dry. So that's what I would do. I seal it with the SBR, let it dry, and then you've sort of got a barrier between the new plaster and the artex. If you just go SBR or PVA on it while it's still wet and tacky, and then you skim, is more than likely to soak into artex. But if you give it a coat and let that dry, best is the SBR. Let it completely dry, and then just skim over it, and it should be okay. That's no problem for me doing it that way. All right, let's see where we next. We got hello from Russia. Unfortunately, I can't read Russian, so I can't read your name. Sorry, but welcome to you. Thank you very much from Russia. The building, we international. Andy Lee. Good evening, Darren. Good evening, Andy. Welcome. Email. Put my email up. So, okay, I'll type my email in the chat now, so you guys will see it. I'm not sure if I can pin it. Try. See if there's any way for me to pin it. Okay, so I'll pin it. So it should be at the top now. That's my email address. If anyone gets hold of me, you can get me on the email. Please be patient with me, guys. Sometimes I can be a bit slow with the email because, you know, you get in from work like today, and then you can get into these emails, and then 2 days later you're trying to catch up with emails that come in every day, literally every day. So sometimes I'm a bit slow, sometimes I'm on point. So let's see. Raging Blade, hi Darren, just seen you and decided to join in. Hope all is well. Thanks a lot, man, and thank you. Long time. Thank you for joining in. You're welcome. Let's see. Okay, it's a question. Good evening, Darren. Well done for your VFR complete. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm well chuffed that I got it done today. So those of you who don't know what that is, I got a motorcycle channel as well called Restoration Classics. So if you're interested in stuff like that, look for that on YouTube. and basically I restore classic motorcycles basically. So I've just completed my first bike, which is a VFR 400 1993 or 1992 or something like that, I think. And I'm doing another VFR currently on the channel, and I'm also doing a Suzuki 650 SV650S as well. So that's like my hobby that I do on the weekends now. Most of the time now I do a bit of work on it, some evenings in the garage and stuff. So yeah, that's what I done now. So I'm well happy about that bike. Absolutely love it. Only been recently riding for the last couple of months really. But yeah, absolutely loving it. So right, next question. SA, how booked in advance are you? Months, weeks? Yeah, it's weeks, I would say, because it depends on what we're on, depending on what the job is, we can squeeze in here or there. If you're just gonna really sit here and wait, then realistically it could be right now it could be the end of the year. If you had to just wait and say, look, wait, it'll be the end of the year. But depending on what it is, well, because now the guys are learning more skills, so we're able to spread out a little bit more and get a lot more done than we were doing before. So the team is building in that respect, and hopefully we can continue building the team. That's the plan. So I'd say sort of like 6 to 8 weeks probably is a minimum before you can jump onto anything else. Right. Do you put a contingency in terms of labor days, as sometimes things take longer than anticipated and therefore more labor days? Yes, I mean, you have to put some sort of contingency in your pricing, because no matter whatever you put in is never that, always more. So even when you're pricing, there's so many little things you don't price for. It could be bolts, it could be resin, it could be all these different things. And if you out with us every single day, every day we go in the hardware stores just to buy a few things, you come out and it's £150, it's £200 just for, like a couple of bits here, things you didn't even know that you needed or whatever. A box of screws is £20-30. Like, it adds up so quickly, so quickly. Like, we're in the stores every day. It's 500, 600, 700, 800, £1,000 every day just in the store, buying bits here. Things are so expensive. So yes, we do have a bit of contingency in there. One thing I do pride myself though is that in all the time I've been in the trades, I've never gone back to a customer and changed the price. Never ever done it. Even if I've made a loss, whatever price I've priced the customer, whether I've priced it wrong or not, or underpriced it, that's tough. I've never gone back and asked for extra money. Obviously, if they want additional work or something's happened, that's different. But I work on set prices, and whatever we price is where we go. So it is important for me to try and get my pricing correct, obviously, because of that. Right, so let's move on. So Nash is asking, when's the next trip to Dominica? I don't know. I wish I was in Dominica earlier this year. Boy, if anybody knows, it was in Carnival in Dominica in February, and I literally feel like everybody I know was down there. So I was gutted, like, but I don't know. Hopefully sometime this year we can make a trip. I'm not sure, but I have to plan it because I can't go to Dominica for 2 weeks or a week. I've got to go for like at least 2 months at a time. So, I either have to have the guys where they can manage without me on jobs that they're on for that period of time, or at least for some of that time, or otherwise they're gonna have to be, off work for that time. So I have to be a bit more careful with me upping and leaving, because I've got, people are responsible I'm responsible for in certain senses. So but yeah, hopefully sometime this year I'd really like to get back to Dominica in the very near future. Let's see. Darren, I requested a quote for the new build side extension. Never got back to me. I'm so sorry. I'm sure there's 100 people that I haven't got back to. If you now you saying that, if you, I'm actually gonna make a note now. If you can maybe resend the email, or think I can specifically look for that. So I'm actually gonna make a note now. SA. So if you just send it again, if you don't mind. So I made a note now to look for it, because I'm literally like every day I get emails. Like I have so much emails to get, and then when you email and when you reply to an email, someone might email back with another response, and then at the end of the day you got 30 emails to deal with. It's a lot. It really is a lot. So it's really tough. Like I actually have someone doing admin now on the social media, like Instagram. We get DMs and they're dealing with that for me because it's just too much, and I can't get back to people. So I'm really sorry about that. It's not on purpose. It's just the workload is just a little bit overwhelming sometimes. Marco's asking, wonder if you could advise me on a project. I have an annex with a concrete flat roof and fiberglass and double layer of clay bricks without cavity on the walls. What would be the best way to insulate? Okay, insulate. Okay. So it's the flat roof is concrete. That's an interesting one. Not easy to insulate a concrete roof. Ventilation's an issue if you insulate from below. It's always going to be an issue. If you insulate from above, maybe there's more options. I'm not sure. I'd have to know a bit more about the roof, but if there's a possibility to insulate above, then that might be a good idea with some way of attaching some rigid insulation to it. I'm not sure. I haven't seen it. And decking it maybe above. That could be maybe one way of doing it. If it's possible. Well, obviously that means you have to redo the fiberglass roof. Double layer of clay bricks without cavity. Okay, so it's like a solid wall basically. I mean, again, you can insulate externally and render if you're okay with that. You don't want to, if you don't mind covering up the bricks, that way would not take out space from the inside. The other option is insulating internally. You're probably gonna have to use some sort of vapor barrier and maybe internal stud walls, and then insulate that, and then maybe plasterboard or something like that. That's another way of doing it. So you can do exterior or internal with the walls, but depending on what you want on the finish on the outside will limit you to whether you externally insulate or internally insulate. If you can do external, it might be better in some cases because you don't lose space on the inside, but you have to be aware of things like window reveals, window edges. They can become tricky when you make the walls thicker from the outside. So these are things to think about as well. Right, let's see what Fuyan is asking. Oops, sorry, it's just jumped up. Are the steels getting sorted for the Cowboy house? Yes, they are. So the problem with the steels is the company. I use a company in Croydon I've been always using to get my steels, and I had sent off the drawings and stuff, and then I had been waiting and trying to get. Then when I tried to contact them, the email bounced back. So then I tried to call, and the call was just like a dead number. And then I checked on their website, and then their website was down. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? Well, I had the main guy's mobile number from work. Text him to say, yo, what's going on, sort of thing. And then he basically said they closed down. So I don't know what happened. If it folded or whatever, I don't know. But they've been there for years. So but then he gave me contact for another company. So I was able to get price from them. So it is back underway. It's just getting them made up and stuff now, getting them made. So so hopefully soon we'll get those steels in, but we've got other things that we can do, so it's not delaying us. we've been working on the brickwork, obviously, and we're going to build the roof on the side roof, which we started today. Started putting the rafters in today, so hopefully I'll get a video out for that tomorrow. If not later tonight, you guys will get that video tomorrow as well. James Art says, thanks for the pricing answer, Darren. I used to use Excel spreadsheets. Now I use Microsoft Project. Wish I had found it years ago. Yeah, so there's loads of good tools out there. Yeah, Microsoft Project. I feel like I have, not sure if it was Project or some Microsoft app. I'm actually paying for it, and I started trying to use it, and I was like, okay, this is gonna take a little time for me to set it up, and I don't think I used it again. So I might need to look to cancel the subscription for that one. But there's so much good tools out there that helps with, managing your business. Aman says, with the artex, it's to do with the chalky paint they used to use back in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, so all these different things will affect, the plaster adhering to it. So if you can seal that somehow, as I said, with like a SPR, and my advice is let it dry completely and then skim on it after that. Let's see. Dean, that's exactly what I did on mine this week. 450 inside, 100 outside, and now building control want a DPC cavity tray all the way around, where you lay a 450 mil on the inside, first block to first brick. See, yeah, this is the thing with building control, yeah, and this is a problem in the UK, to be honest. Everyone's saying different things. I've never had any. There's so many. There's builders that do it that way, and they will say that's how you should do it. I've never ever had any building control require me to do that, to put a cavity tray all the way, because when you put the cavity tray, you have to put wheat vents all the way down the walls, all around the walls and all that. And I don't know if you're in London, but I don't really see it being done personally in London. I don't really see it around here, so I don't know if it's to do with areas or certain councils or whatever. But that's why it's good. What I normally do with building control is whenever they come to do an inspection, I always discuss the next step with them. So for instance, when let's say when I dug the foundations before we pour concrete, they come in to check the inspect it. Then they will say pour it. So I would always say, when do you want to call me next? And they'll say, oh, when you're in DPC. And then I would ask about that. But the only times I tend to ask things like that is if it's not clear on the drawings. So if I have a full set of building control drawings, which I always work to, I don't do any jobs without it. Usually there's a detail in those drawings for the DPC. And if the DPC detail is in there, I always do it the way it's on the drawing, because if I do it that way, I won't have these issues, because building control really can't come back and say, oh, I want you to do it that way after you've, built the DPC and all this stuff, because the drawings that they signed off and approved is what I built to. So that's why it's important. But the good thing about DPC is that you get to put your DPC before you build. You're supposed to get an inspection of DPC before you build your walls. So hopefully that catches any issues before you build all your walls, and then he's just like, oh, I want a cavity tray. You know what I mean? So because normally what we do with DPC, we just lay it out. We don't even cement it down. We just lay it out, and then he comes, inspects it, and he's happy with it. So that's the point that he would mention it. But if he had an issue with it and he wanted a cavity tray, it's very easy to put it in. But we've never had anybody ask for it. So, but regs are always changing. Things are always changing. But I don't know if that is a requirement everywhere now. So, pretty sure. Right, okay, let's see. Amir says, your channel is so informative. Keep doing such good work and helping us all learn. Thank you. You're welcome, Amir. That's the purpose of the channel. So that's great to hear that it's helping you guys out. SA asks, what happens to the electrician's course you're doing? So again, as I said, this life has been so busy. So the course is on hold. So basically, when I signed up, they basically said you've got 2 years to complete the course. So I've actually paid off the course now. I paid it off because I was paying it sort of monthly, like over 12 months. So I just literally just paid it off, I think in February or something. So February, I think, was 1 year. So I've got 1 year to complete it. I've already spoken to them and they just said, when you're ready, just jump back onto it, because most of it at this point is online. So they said when you feel confident, just log in and do your exam. So I think I've got to do a mock test like that, and then I book my exam whatever day I want to do my exam. So it's just about me. The next step now is for me to book my exam. I've done all my lessons already, but I'm gonna have to go through revision before I book my exam because it's been so long. But I've got all the recordings of my lessons. So my plan is, when I get the time or discipline myself, is to sit down for the next couple of evenings and just go through all the footage or watch all my classes again, and then book my theory test, which I have to go to the center to do my theory test. And then once I've done my theory test, I have to book in, I think it's 5 practical days. So I have to book a whole week off, and I'm going to go do practical lessons at the center. And then I do an exam at the end of that. And that's basically what I need to do. So I've just taken a break. As I said, I've got a year to do it. So at some point between now and next February, I've got to get back onto it. So it's just that I've just been so busy, and that's the only reason why. But I'm still enrolled. It's just on hold for me at the moment. Let's see. Bevhart said, hope all is well. I'm well, thank you. What's the approximate price of turning an outhouse into a downstairs toilet from scratch? Wow, an outhouse. When you say an outhouse, is it attached to the building or is it separate from the building? I'll be honest, I really cannot give you an approximate price because I don't even know what the existing outhouse is. I don't know what drainage is like, where manholes are. I honestly couldn't tell you. But my email address, I've pinned it in there. So if you want to maybe send me some more information, maybe a photograph of the space or a video or something, I might be able to give you a rough idea of what it would cost. But I would need to see a bit more information. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see. Okay, I think some of you guys are talking here. Robert says, hi Darren, how can you tell if an internal wall is a supporting wall? No more holidays, plus thought you retired. Mate, I keep saying this and joking to my wife. Well, I'm not even joking. I'm just like, I don't want to retire. I really want to retire, but I need to win the lottery first. So I would retire tomorrow if I could, and I'll be off to Dominica. Yeah, enjoying myself. So, but yeah, as far as your question, how can you tell? The safe answer is you can't tell. you need to have somebody, an engineer, to look at it. That's the safe answer I'm going to give you. But there are telltale signs for, supporting walls. There's a couple of things. If you can find this information or you can tell this information, for instance, I'll give you an example. So let's say you're on the ground floor and you've got a wall on the ground floor, kitchen wall or something like that, and you want to know is it supporting, what is it supporting? So supporting walls tend to support walls above, floors above, and roofs. That's usually most of the time what they support. So a lot of houses, like typical terrace houses in the UK, you'll have a wall downstairs, like a downstairs hallway, and if you look directly above it upstairs, when you go upstairs, the upstairs bedrooms are on top of that same wall. So oftentimes that wall is supporting the wall above it. Another telltale sign is the floor joists upstairs. Sometimes you can see the floor joists if you've got floorboards upstairs that you can access or see. Usually the floor joists run perpendicular to the floorboards. So if the floorboards are running this way, usually the joists run this way. So for instance, if you have a wall and you have floorboards running 90 degrees with that wall, generally speaking, the rafters will be sitting, or the floor joist will be sitting on that wall. So that wall usually is a supporting wall. So that's another thing. Roofs, so walls that support roofs are a little bit more tricky, because it doesn't necessarily have to look like it's directly below it. Sometimes it's supporting it off a different sort of angle or something. So that's why I say you need to have advice, because even though you might think, well, there's no wall above that, there's no rafters above that, that wall might still be somehow taking a load off the roof somehow. So it's sort of, with experience, you, especially when you deal with certain types of houses, you get an understanding, but you still won't be 100% secure or safe as an engineer's looked at it. So that's sort of the answer that I have to really give you, but there are telltale signs that you can look into. All right, let's see. LHP Studio, Darren, I'll teach you how to ride a VFR if you teach me bricklaying. How about it? Well, firstly, I'm not the person to teach you bricklaying. Like, you probably better off looking at another channel, like the real brickies out there. Stephen, Alex, and those sort of guys, and Easy, and all those guys. They're the bricklayers. But yeah, teach me to ride, man. You know what I mean? I'm learning. I've been trying to get around bikers as much as possible. Funny enough, I got some wheels powder coated today, and the guy who did the wheels for me is a really nice guy. I posted a video of it today actually on my other channel, my bike channel, and he's a biker as well, and he's already invited me to come out riding with him, anytime I want. So because I don't really know, none of my friends ride bikes, so it's difficult. It's like, you want to go for a ride, but it's like you've got no friend that you can call and say, let's go to Brighton, let's go for a ride, let's go here, let's go there. So I need more of that experience. I've met a couple of bikers where I've gone to a few little spots and, taken a little, they said, oh, do you want to come? We're going this place or whatever, and then getting to ride with more experienced riders. Riders have been riding for 20, 30, 40 years. So I need more of that stuff just to sort of, sharpen up and to learn more about riding on the roads and so on. So, but so far it's been good. It's really been good. I'm really enjoying it. Sorry, Dean says 58 people watching, only 24 likes. Hit the like button, people. Yes, why not hit the like button if you're watching? That's the least you can do. Hit the like button. It also helps the YouTube to share it to other members of the channel. We're at 50,000 now subscribers as of today, I think. So that's amazing achievement for the channel. So again, I want to thank everybody who's subscribed, who's just basically been consistently there with us over the last couple of years to help us to get to where we are now. So we're pushing to aim for the 100,000. So if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. A lot of the times, I catch myself channels that I watch all the time, and then I notice, I'm like, hang on a minute, I'm not even subscribed to this channel, but every day I watch their videos, I didn't realize. So if you're not, maybe you might not even notice, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell as well, so that YouTube can let you know when I post videos as well. All right, so let's see. So Gigi said, looking forward to seeing the pitch roof on the side going up at the Cowboy build. One thing I was wondering was about the rafters. Where does the first one go? In the middle? So interesting in that there's been a change on that. It's flat roof now. It's actually changed now. We're going flat roof on the side for a couple of reasons. One of them is actually maintenance as well. It's been a 3-story building. We've got a lot of work to do on the rest of this house actually after the extension is done. We've got the entire roof of the house to do. We've got all the windows along the side and the first and second floors to change and stuff. So you were asking about the rafters. Where does the first one go? In the middle. Normally I'll start from see the orientation of this house. So if you remember, there's a door that enters into that side extension. I will tend to start from there and work back towards the house. So my first one will be in the front of the door where I know I'm going to have a fascia, and then I will take them about 400 mil back from there. But everything's not always the same. You have to deal with every job differently. So that's where I'll be starting with that. But I wouldn't start in the middle of the roof. Do you go left to right or right to left and then do the spacing? So yeah, so in this case it would be, depending on how you're looking at it, if you're in the alleyway it would be right to left, so from the door, sort of from the garden house side back towards the front of the house. So we're going from right to left. That's how we're doing it, and then we space them out evenly. So your spacing depends on a few things. When you're spacing out, and this is something you can consider, which sometimes can help you save money. The spacing of your rafters depends on the size of the rafters. So you use what we call span tables. So for instance, if you've got a rafter that's 150 mil and it's spanned over 2 meters, let's say, or 2.5 meters, the requirement may be that you have to put a rafter every 40 centimeters or every 400 millimeters to get the required strength. Now, if you are using a larger rafter, let's say a 200 mil rafter instead of 150 mil rafter, you may be able to space them out every 600. So that's, 50% extra space, which would be 50% less wood. May work out a lot cheaper to go with a wider span but a larger rafter. There's lots of different factors, so that determine the spacing. So, but as a rule, most people tend to just go 400. It's quite standard to go 400 mil, and a lot of engineers, when they design the rafter sizes, they tend to go for 400 mil spacing. It's just so common. But 400, 600, all that helps for when you've got board in the roof, or when you're putting plasterboard, because they tend to be either 1200 or 2400 sheets. So it's sort of 4, 8, 12. So it helps to line up your plasterboard and use the entire sheet, or your plywood, and use the entire sheet that you line up on the center of the rafters. So instead of going I don't like to do 450. Some people do 450, 900, etc., etc. But most of the time we do 400 spacing for most things, and that usually guarantees that everything is good and strong. Right, so let's see. Superfro Lushes. Are you still building Dominica? Are there delays? So I was mentioning earlier that we are ready to build in Dominica. I just have to plan when I'm going to make the trip. So I need to plan a trip that I can take when it's suitable for everyone, like the team as well, because I want to go for a fairly decent amount of time, probably at least 2 months. So it might mean shutting everything down, and then I need to consider all my jobs that are on. I've got to wind them all down, finish them all off, not take any extra work. This is usually what happens when I go to Dominica. So I tend to wind down to my last job, and then I book everything for when I come back. So I'm not sure yet. I had to think about it, when I can actually go next. But basically, everything's just waiting on me and my busy lifestyle as far as when I can go to Dominica and start building. I'm itching to go. I really am itching to go, but I have to plan it. I really have to plan it. It's always the same whenever I go. I've got to really plan it out. So I definitely let you guys know once I know a bit more about my plans. Glenn says, hi Darren, hope you're well. Is there a way to get around installing a cavity tray above a catnick over a window? Is there a way? Well, if it's a cavity wall, I'm assuming it is. Well, catnick, if it's a cavity, there isn't really that I can think of a way of getting away with it. If there's a cavity, you need to have a tray. You need to have something that will bridge the internal and external wall and allow a means of escape for moisture or water or anything like that. And typically that will be a cavity tray. So if it's obviously, if it's not a cavity wall, then you won't need a cavity tray. But if it is a cavity, then I'm not sure of any other way of having it. Basically, over a window or a door, you do need to have it, you know. Let's see. Tony, Darren, I looked at a small kitchen wall today. No wall above it, just the joist running along the wall. Would you think this is a supporting wall? It's running along a wall. So this is why I was saying, okay, so here's an example, like I was saying to you about sometimes a roof could be supporting on it. So if there's a joist running along it, if there's a joist running along the same wall and there's no wall on top of that joist, then likely it won't be supporting. Likely it won't be supporting. But again, I couldn't tell you for sure. But if it's running parallel with it, generally speaking, it won't be supporting. But you maybe need to look above. Sorry guys, got a bit of a cough. In the loft as well, or in the roof space, and see how the roof is being bared as well. But as I said, I couldn't give you a definitive. But if it's running on it, it's probably more than likely not supporting. But you would have to be 100%, sure that it isn't. Zulu Delta, hi Zulu Delta. It's been a minute. Yes, definitely. You're regular on the lives, so yeah, missed you guys. It's been a while. Raman, greetings from Nairobi. Greetings to you, thank you. So we got Zulu Delta for all the way in Kenya, out there in Kenya. Shani says, congratulations on reaching 50,000 subs. Thank you very much. And Neil as well. Thank you guys. Amazing. And the 50 subs is all due to you guys, because if you don't subscribe, we would not be at 50k. So really appreciate you guys subbing to the channel. Chrissy boys, the garden room you built recently, what was the cost for that? Recently, what's the most recent one we built? Is it the timber one? You maybe talking about the timber one, or is it in black? Is that the one? I think that's the most recent one we did. Before that, I think the one before that is maybe the one at the Cowboy build. I feel like we did one before that. Since that as well. I'm not sure. Is it the timber one talking about? I think it's timber one. I think that was the region of 30k, I think, all in. I think that was in the region of, bearing in mind that one was built with building regs, so it's actually building regs approved, so it's a lot more in it than some of the other ones. Let's see what question we got. AA, what's up, bro? Your inspiration. I started building last year from watching your videos. Now this year it's gone crazy. Literally jobs coming in every day. Thanks, bro. Amazing, absolutely amazing. That's what I love to hear, man. People out there doing it yourselves, learning, being confident, developing your skills, building your business, doing something constructive, and earning a living for yourself. It's amazing. Gorinda says, hi Darren, did you go university or college? I went to college. What did I do? I went to college when I left high school. I went to college. I did an electrical apprenticeship. So I got a job with a company who was local to me at the time. It was an electrical and mechanical engineering firm. So they did, sort of big commercial jobs, the electrics, to all the mechanical services and stuff like that. And they would send me to school or to college 1 day a week, and then I worked 4 days a week at the company. So I did that for 3 years. I did diploma with them at college, and then I did the higher national diploma, higher national diploma, and then I just kind of felt it wasn't for me. I didn't really like it. I think it was just the environment, and also what I found about myself is I'm a very hands-on person. So I realized I actually like to be on the tools more. Because part of my apprenticeship, I used to have to work in various departments. I would work in the office. I would work in at the main office. I would work in the porter cabin offices on sites. I would work with the engineers. I would work in the architects department because they had lots of different departments. I did a little bit of CAD. I worked in the estimating department. You had to do 6 months here, 6 months here, 6 months, all different places. And when I got to work on site, I literally worked with the electricians on site, and that was the best time. So I just didn't like working in the office. Like I didn't like a lot of the people I was working with, to be honest. Maybe that was a big part of it. But I didn't like working in the office. I just didn't like the environment. I've never liked offices. So I decided this wasn't for me. I went into music. I was a sound engineer for quite a while. Had a business even as well. I was doing sound engineering for bands and all sorts of stuff, gigging basically. And then eventually I just got back into a passion of, building and stuff like that. And I just ended up back into construction. And here I am today. So been working for myself ever since I decided to just go out there. Similar to what AAs did. I just sort of put myself out there. I could do flooring, I could do tiling, and I just went out and doing stuff like that and started doing kitchens for people and in bathrooms, and then I just went from there basically. So I've never been to university. GG says thank you. Let's see. Gorinda, do you pay taxes or cash in hand jobs? So yes, we are all legit. We actually VAT registered as well. So yeah, that's basically how we work, and the guys all work for me as well. Let's see. Neil Cumberbatch, please don't go to Dominica during mango season. Yeah, it's always the last time I was in Dominica, it was a lot of mangoes. Like there's mangoes just all over, everywhere you look. They're just falling off. They're literally falling off the trees. You're walking past your head, falling off the trees. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a massive mango eater. I only like specific types of mangoes, but yeah, they're free. They're just out there. Funny enough, my wife just showed me a mango she bought yesterday. She said she took my daughter out to this shop. She went to sort of support the shop, and she thought, oh, I'll get mango. And get my daughter chose the mango. Chose something, and she chose this mango, and when she asked how much it was £3, and it was like this small little mango. It was like £3. I was like, this is crazy. Like, these are the things that people don't even want to eat. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm not a massive mango eater. My grandma was absolute mango holic. She'd sit there and eat 10 mangoes back to back. Like, she just had the sweet tooth, So let's see. Bob said, hi Darren, I'm boarding up some walls in a redundant stairwell to use as storage space. Is there something cheap and durable I can stick on top of the plasterboard rather than plaster and paint it? Durable. It depends on what you want it to look like, really. I mean, without painting, I was going to say you can joint fill if you don't want to plaster, joint fill in sand, but you really need to paint that anyway. Obviously you can joint fill and wallpaper, which I think is more lining. I think is more work than it's worth. Some sort of cladding. You can get sheets of stuff now. There's a lot of different types of claddings where you can buy large sheets. And there's various different finishes on it. Some sort of thin, maybe 3-4 mil, some sort of cladding that you can just literally glue onto it. That might be maybe more down the line, you're thinking, I'm not sure. And you're probably going to look more online for something like that. Maybe 8x4 sheets of some sort of cladding that you can just some PVC stuff. I don't know. Maybe just an idea. Maybe try and Google something like that and see if you can find something. Maybe that's what comes to my head as far as the easiest. Let's see, tape and joint. Yeah, somebody's mentioned that as well. Someone says, mate, you can just paint it gloss. How do you find your team members? How do you find my team members? Yeah. Well, it's Namdi. I met Namdi when I was in Dominica the last time, which was not last year, year before. Actually, he was a neighbor of the Airbnb that I was staying in. I'd doing some work, but the owner knew him. And remember, if you guys might remember, I was doing some work on that house, and when I left London, they gave me Namdi's number, as well as a couple of other people, and said, look, if you need any other guys to help you, there's this guy, he's a good painter. There's this guy who's an electrician. There's this guy, I'll give you their numbers. I know them. So in the end, it worked out that I ended up calling Namdi to come in and do some painting because I wasn't going to be able to finish the painting before I left. So I ended up passing the job on to Namdi. And Namdi at the time, he had said he was going to be in the UK in the next couple of months. He's moving over permanently and stuff like that. He's been married now a couple of weeks ago and so on, because he's got a son here as well. So he said, oh, we'll take each other's number or whatever. So when he came back to London, then he gave me a call. And then, at the time, I think I called him at the time. I think he was already doing some work somewhere. And it just happened that a couple of months later, he called me up and he said, oh, do you still need me? And at the time I did. So yeah, that's basically how I met Namdi. So met Namdi in Dominica and then back here. The other guys, Tristan, some of you might remember if you've been on the channel for a while. Young Josh, we had with us for a little while. He's a relative of Josh's, and he had passed me on his number because he was looking for work. So that's how we got Tristan in. And Kenneth, I think Kenneth reached out to me, I think on Instagram or somewhere like that. He's following the channel and he wanted to learn skills. Kenneth actually approached me and actually said, I'll come and work for free. Basically, I want to learn the skills. If you're willing to train me, I'll come work for free. And I liked that. Not that I didn't want to pay him, but I liked that he was someone that was serious, because it's always hard to get people that's serious to work, young people. So I brought him in and I said, look, I'll pay you, don't worry about it, come in. And basically he came in and he's been with us ever since. So yeah, I think that's pretty much how the three guys that I'm with now sort of met with us. I get a lot of people reaching out a lot of times. I've had people who've reached out. We had one guy, he just come out of college, contacted me. He said just come out of college. He was just doing bricklaying. He's just finished his course. He's doing work. And I said, yeah, we're literally going to start a garden house. So come in tomorrow, you can do some block laying and let's see how you get on. And his first day, he was like cancelling on me on the first day. And, I get stuff like that a lot, and I just said, but now I don't have the patience for it now. Like, you do it the first day, just like, forget it, don't bother again. You know what I mean? But now, fortunately, I've got, a reliable, solid team that enjoys working together. Puts in the work, everyone's pulling together, everyone's gels together quite well. So, we've got a team that we can build on. So it would be a lot easier to bring people in now, because believe me, anybody who came and worked with us now would have to fall in line very quickly. You know what I mean? You'd have to fall into the program with everybody, and it won't be me to say it, it'll be everyone else. You know what I mean? Because we have a way that we work now and everyone pulls together, So there's a lot you guys don't see on video. I don't show everything. And sometimes people say things, they might see 5-minute clip of someone standing about or whatever, and they say, oh, these guys, or what they're doing. And it's just like, there's lots happening. People are working. Some of the guys stay late. There's all stuff going on, So, I've got a good team. I'm very happy with the guys. Yeah, they've come a long way. Right, so let's see, maybe one or two more. I'm gonna start wrapping up in a bit. Let's see. Alex asked, how much would you charge to build the garden house in your video? How much does a garden house cost? Full cost breakdown of materials today. Oh, I think I know which job you're talking about. Is that the one where I give the cost of all the materials? I think I just give the cost of all the materials in as I was going along. I think that's the one you're talking about, yeah. It was a good size house actually. And I think what my head what that was. I feel like that was somewhere around 6 by something, 6 by 3 or 6 by 4, something like that. Today probably is gonna be that for that house, probably at least 30k to build that. Yeah, 30k at least, I would say. And it's mad because someone's showing me all these timber garden houses and stuff that they sell, all these sort of flat packy things that they turn up and build it in 2 days sort of thing. And I couldn't believe the prices for these things. They're like 30-40 grand. And I'm like, these are no way at the level of what we build as far as a you know, self-contained building or whatever. Like, they can never outlast our houses what we build. And I couldn't believe the prices that they're selling these things for. Unbelievable. Like, so me personally, if I was going for anything, it's got to be something like what we build. You know what I mean? A proper structure that is, you know, built to last, you know. So Glenn is asking, hey Darren, it seems like you have signed up to some difficult jobs recently, Cowboy, etc. Is there anything you have refused to do? Yeah, I mean, we've had definitely challenging. Refuse. Sometimes I get asked about basements. I don't do any basements because I know nothing about basements. So definitely I don't do any basements. I also now, because of the YouTube, I now choose a lot of jobs based on content. So, for instance, the Cowboy build job was just like, it's a challenge, which is I like just to keep, so the work is not boring. So it's good to have a challenge. But also, I was like, this will be interesting content for people to watch. So I'm like, okay, it might be tough. It's a lot to do, but take it because it's going to be some good content, you know, interesting content rather than just same sort of boring thing. You know, you guys have seen so much things we've come across this job so far, you know, so it's been interesting in that sense. So a lot of jobs now I choose based on how interesting it's going to be as opposed to just taking any job, if that makes sense, you know. Because we get a lot of jobs coming through now, a lot of inquiries. So I'm in a fortunate place where I can get to pick and choose jobs now. So sometimes I will pick a job that maybe even further away from your travel because it's just a little bit different, you know. So that's sort of how I'm choosing them at the moment. Let's see where are we next one. Do you usually work 7 to 5? No, 9 to 5. We all work 9 to 5. We start at 9, we finish at 5. So sometimes a little bit after, depending on what we're in the, if we're in the middle or something, whatever, we might. I think the other day we finished after 6, you know, because we just had to finish what we were doing. But generally 9 to 5. Some days the guys 3 o'clock, I let them go home. It just depends, you know. Sometimes depending on what we're doing, you're like in the middle of this and it's just like, well, is there a point me knocking up another mix of cement now and it's 3:30 now? I just like, you know what, I'll just pack up and go home. So, you know, I give and take. You know, the guys never complain if they got to stay late, and I never have any problem of letting them go early if, you know, it makes sense, sort of thing, you know. That's how we kind of do it. So okay, question. I think this might be the last one, so I'm 25 past 9 now. I remember watching you when you were solo. Well done on 50k. Definitely deserved with all your hard work and making vids and editing. Thank you, man. Amazing. Yes, DIY UK. So I subbed you today as well. Subscribe to your channel as well. So there's another DIY channel, guys, a new channel. If you guys want to check them out, DIY UK. He's in here. He's one of our subscribers, and obviously a long-term subscriber if you've been way back then. So yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate the support. So yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here now. It's like 9:30 now. It's time to get ready for bed. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. As I said, we've hit the 50k now, so really appreciate everybody's support. And I will try and get today's video out tomorrow. You guys, too late for me to edit it to now. And I will try to do a few more lives a bit more regularly, so we can help with questions and stuff like that, and just keep sort of connected to everybody. So yeah, guys, that's it. So until the next video, we shall see you. Everyone have a great evening. Be safe. Take care. Have a great weekend, and see you soon. Take care.